I'm in the kitchen waiting for the kettle to boil. I'll be making a flask and going fishing shortly. I've been to Carnarvon this week for a game of football. Finally got there in the end. It was postponed initially due to the icy spell around the Christmas period, and I've been in for 2 press conferences obviously relating to that game, but we got there, and a 1-0 victory for TNS means that the New Saints has a 9 points gap at the top of the table. I've also been fishing after work. Didn't do a video for that one, on a pretty big pit that I do visit from time to time. It's important, I feel, to make the most of every opportunity, and certainly so far this year, today feels like the only real semi-retired day that I've had, because I've been busy with work and related things around there. So I did go fishing afterwards, and that's always important, especially with petrol costs, isn't it? If you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, that's good. Also watched a couple of movies. I don't know if you can guess those from the footage on the screen while I've been talking. One of them, I think so. The second one, well, maybe not, because it's pretty obscure really, but I do like the old movies. And talking of semi-retirement, although I'm doing more of the things that I did previously, like birding, nature in general, fishing of course, my hobby, or the hobby that I have taken up, my newfound hobby, is watching movies, and predominantly old ones as well. So a new film for me would be Home Alone or Crocodile Dundee. We're going back into the 40s, 50s, 60s, that type of era. Always nice to watch though, and if you are interested in films, well, I've got a movie reviews page on my website that I keep a list of the films that I've watched. Right, the kettle will be boiling shortly, no doubt, and then I will see you at the water's edge. I'm fishing. When I banked my first perch of the year just the other day, I had been going a little bit further out after roach and perch, and I'd noticed that there were fish in the margins, and so I dropped a bait in and caught perch. I've decided to come back and give that place another go there, or that method, that approach, another go. And I've had 1 fish on, came off the hook, and when I pulled it in, one of the maggots had come over the point, so the point was masked. I've just had a bite there and didn't connect with the fish properly. I think it will be a case of 3rd time lucky. Watch this space, as they say. It was indeed, but after 2 missed perch, it's a roach. A second roach, smaller than the first one, but nevertheless, I'm amongst the fish, and it's fantastic because shallow, clear water. I'm throwing the maggots in and I'm watching the fish take them, and of course take my bait as well. I've spotted some fish ridiculously close to the bank. In fact, I've pulled back myself based on the fact that if you can see them, they can see you. We are now talking really shallow water. I pulled my float down and I've got just a little bit over because I want to pull the float to the side of where the bait is. I don't want it sitting directly above it, but nevertheless I'm in communication there. Although having said that, I can watch the fish, I can see the bait, I can see my maggots, and I can see the fish around there. I've already had one on and it came off. I've changed the hook. I always keep the hook nice and sharp, but when you lose or have a hook pull on a 3 fish like I have already, then it's time to change. Although it seems sharp, nevertheless, if it's only just for a confidence view of things, and at the end of the day, how much does a hook cost? I do change them pretty much every session anyway, but sometimes if I've just had a few fish, I keep them on. I can see the perch swimming around there. This would be great if I had a camera crew with me and they were filming the fish down there. Fantastic. The last thing I want now is for a passerby to come and stand right there on the edge. Have you caught anything, mate? It happens, doesn't it? Watercraft, such an important ingredient in successful fishing. I've been catching just small fish, but great fun, especially under the circumstances of how far out I am from the bank and I can see them as well. And then it went very quiet indeed, and the reason was just had a roach take that. Didn't connect with the bait. I'm going to change that though. And the reason was there was a pike there. I could see the fish. It was probably about £2, but big enough to deter the fish that I'm trying to catch. And it's just there. I am fishing just so close to the bank. I'm having to move the rod across, otherwise it would be beyond, well beyond where I've got the bait. So what I did was, very gently, I put the rod into the water. Got nothing to lose because the fish have disappeared now. Got nothing to lose. And I put the rod tip into the water and gently touched the top of the pike. It took probably 5 seconds before it realised that something wasn't right and it took off. Hopefully it won't come back. I've got nothing against pike, of course I do fish for them myself, and I don't like to use the term nuisance fish at all, but I am focused on the other species on this particular session. And that was encouraging just because I did have a small roach take the bait. I'm fishing with 2 maggots on a size 14 hook. The pike's back. The pike has returned. So what am I going to do now? Well, if it comes just a little bit closer, as it is, I'm going to touch it again with the rod tip. That did the trick. The pike has gone, and I'm going to cast out again. I have the feeling though it will be back. It's not bothered that I've just got the rod tip on top of it. As soon as it goes though, within seconds, put the maggots out and the fish are back in there. It's very, very exciting when you can see the fish that you're targeting. And it's also great for watercraft as well, because most of the times that we go angling, you don't know what's going on beneath the surface of the water. But when you can observe fish behaviour, like I am right now, just missed a bite there. Oh, the pike's back. Just as I lifted, the pike has come back. But when you can observe fish behaviour, not just the roach and perch, but the pike as well, you actually get a good idea of what's going on out there when you can't see anything. This is a very interesting session indeed. The pike that I've been poking hasn't returned. However, another one has come to take its place. It's a bigger fish, about £4 on that occasion. And it is getting darker now anyway, so I'll be packing away shortly. I recently described a session, an angling session, as an interesting one. Well, in the headline, this one must definitely be a very interesting angling session. I poked that pike out the way, and then first drop in, immediately a roach. That was great. I enjoyed that. Having said that, I enjoy them all. I mentioned blog entries without videos if you're watching this on YouTube. Well, if you want to connect via the website or Twitter, Facebook, go into the comments section here on YouTube and I'll put the links on there. Follow you back on Twitter, and if there's a friend request, I can always add that one as well. I'll be out tomorrow. I'm going carp fishing. Looking forward to that one very much indeed. My t-shirt, by the way, can you see that there? That is the place in Wales on Anglesey, Ynys the one with the long name. You know the one, don't you? Llanfair Pwthgwyngyth Gogorok, Windle Boith Atlanticilio Gogogok. Tight lines if you're out this week.